So over my birthday, my partner and I, we flew to Malta. And one evening we decided that we want to go to a fancy meal in Malta because the food in Malta is very yummy. It was the first time we was in Malta. So we picked a restaurant that we seen everywhere online, the kind of restaurant that looked perfect on photos and like we really thought, okay, let's go there. It looks amazing. It looks like it has very good meals. So when we got there, everything felt amazing. The setting, the service, the drinks, the waiters, the anticipation. And then what I do every time after having a meal is checking the reviews. So I went to Google reviews and you will see actually so many, like hundreds of five-star reviews. People were saying that it was the best meal they had in Malta, that they will definitely come back. The service was incredible. And then I kept scrolling, right? Like Google reviews has like thousands of reviews. And eventually you will find one-star reviews as well. People who were telling like the food was not good, it was too much, too little, I will never come back, it was the worst experience in Malta. Now, let me ask you something. Did the restaurant suddenly become bad because a few people didn't like it? No, right? And it simply proved something. No matter how good something is, not everyone will like it. Not everyone will agree with it. And yet, when it comes to our coaching businesses, we expect something completely different. We expect that everyone has to agree. Everyone has to like us. Everyone has to understand us. Everyone has to support us. And because that never happens, you are staying small. And I think this is one of the biggest challenge women of color coaches faces. Okay, I really want to keep this video around women of color coaches, industry expert, because we don't we know what we are talking about. Okay, we know how to get the best results for our clients. We know that we are the smartest woman in the room, but being visible still feels incredibly vulnerable. Because every time you press post or record, there is a little voice in your head that are running the show right now. It tells you, like, what if someone disagrees? What if people think I'm wrong? What if another coach calls me out? What if somebody leaves a hate comment? What if my family sees it and they disagree? And because that voice is running the show, now you are questioning your voice and you are questioning, what if that is not actually what I want to share? So, for many women of color, this really goes deep because we were growing up learning that being accepted was way more important than sharing the truth, than sharing our voice, than sharing what we believe in. Because we were taught not to cause problems, not to be too loud, not to be too opinionated, not to make other people feel uncomfortable. So that's why you are staying, or you stayed working hard. You stayed being humble instead of showing who you are and showing your authentic self, to be grateful what you have and to fit in. No matter if every cell in your body is screaming to open your mouth and say the truth, you choose to fit in so that you don't hurt other people or you don't make it uncomfortable for you and for other people as well. So when you start to building your personal brand, you want to close clients online, you are running a coaching business, a consulting business, you are suddenly being asked to do the opposite, right? Everyone tells you, take up your space, be authentic, share your opinions, challenge beliefs, become visible. Of course, that feels uncomfortable. Let me know in the comments, because you are not just learning another marketing strategy. You have to unlearn years of conditioning. You have to break the pattern right now. And that comes when it comes to visibility. That is the strategy. It's not just like, hey, learn the next trending marketing strategy. It's unlearning years of conditioning and patterns that are keeping you small. And here is what actually changed everything for me and for my business. Visibility doesn't create judgment, actually, it reveals it. Because people already have opinions, they already see the world differently. People already disagree with each other. That is totally normal. That is our human experience. So when you become visible, when you are becoming seen, you are simply giving those opinions somewhere to land. And that is okay, because disagreement isn't evidence that you have done something wrong. It's simply an evidence that people are paying attention. And the same way how you're going to actually attract people who agrees with you, there is a 50% chance that you're going to attract people who disagree with you as well. Think about it. Like, two people can watch the exact same movie. One person can love it, the other person can hate it. Who's right? Neither of them. You are just like, they are just bringing different experiences, different expectations, different values, and different beliefs. And your content is working the same way. Someone who has struggled with undercharging, right, will hear your message about raising your prices and they will think, I need to think about it. Or someone who tried it and didn't succeed might think that is unrealistic. The messaging didn't change, but their perspective did. And that is one of the most freeing things that you will ever learn. Like, people respond through the lens of their own experiences, of their own beliefs they are having, not yours. You are simply uncovering those next beliefs for them. So don't make their opinion about you. One of the biggest mistake I see coaches make is this, like when someone disagrees with them, immediately they make it mean about themselves personally, right? They think I'm not good enough, I shouldn't have said that, this is really not my voice. They are like whitewashing their authentic voice again. Like, you started to uncover it, now you became more visible, more seen, and because you are experiencing disagreement, you are now hiding it again. You are now whitewashing your voice again. But I want to change your perspective here. What if their disagreement has absolutely nothing to do with your ability? What if it simply means that you are not their person, right? Or maybe they are not ready. Maybe they have different philosophy. I think when you agree that everyone has different perspectives and you are open, okay, you are open that there are different perspectives, different values, different belief systems, and you are open to accept that not yours is the only one in this entire universe, you're going to be okay that people are going to disagree with you, right? You will simply be okay. You will say, like, okay, this is just another perspective. It's not my perspective, it's just somebody else's perspective. So that means you have to stay open without losing yourself. And that is so important, because I don't think confidence or means like confidence in your messaging doesn't mean that you are always right. If you believe you are always right, that means that your ego is talking right now, because you are not open that people have different perspectives and opinions on their own. And one of the most important and powerful qualities of a leader is being open to learning. Sometimes someone will challenge your perspective and you will realize, oh, actually, that's a great, interesting point. You will grow from it. You will refine your thinking. Doesn't mean you have to accept it, but it simply means that you are refining your perspective as well, and you are becoming a better coach and consultant. That's a healthy way of thinking and of leadership as well. The difference is between being open to learning and abandoning your voice every time someone disagrees with you, right? Those are completely two differences, because the one helps you to evolve, right? You as the leader, and the other ones pushes you back to your old pattern and conditioning, where you are abandoning your voice and now you are staying invisible. And there is a cost of staying invisible and hiding and not owning your voice and trusting it and keep on showing that to your community. Because every time you don't share your perspective, someone who needed to hear your message, you are letting them actually be in the dark side. Every time you are softening your opinion, someone continues believing something is keeping them stuck. Right? Every time you choose silence because you're afraid of judgment, you're afraid that people will disagree, and you don't want to feel that uncomfortable feeling in the beginning, someone else with less experience than you becomes the voice for your ideal client right now because they had the confidence to speak up. And that's the real cost. This word doesn't lose because someone leaves a mean comment. There is a reason why social media has the delete button, right? The world is losing when brilliant women like you continues to stay quiet and continue to fit in this industry and not using your voice. That's the definition of when the world is losing. And again, um, I want to remind you there is a reason why social media has the delete button. I remember when I received hate comments, I didn't react because I felt like that it is okay that other people has other opinions, and I don't have to be liked by everyone. Not everyone has to like my voice. That is okay. I simply accepted that this person is not the right fit to be in my universe, to be in my world, to be in my perspective. That is okay. So when I received hate comments about my body, about my accent, about my grammar, about everything, I simply deleted that comment. I didn't react. I didn't feed their ego. I didn't feed my ego. In the beginning, it was very uncomfortable and very emotional. And I sat there with my emotions, dealing with it. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Not everyone will like me, and that is okay. I don't want everyone to like me. If everyone likes me, that means I don't have a freaking voice. That means I am actually staying humble and people pleasing. And I'm not a people pleaser anymore. I used to be that. So every time I remind myself when I receive hate comments that that doesn't mean anything about me as a person. And I am open to receive different perspectives. And I don't actually put my focus on hate comments. I delete them because in my universe, there is no room for hate. So, like that is your reminder that you can use those delete buttons. There is a reason why social media has it. So let's talk about what happens when you embrace visibility. Okay. You have your messaging. Okay. You refined it. You know your voice, and you are like in every cell in your body is screaming, yeah, say it. Say it. You disagree with the industry. You know what people are doing wrong. Say it, right? When you embrace visibility, right? And the woman of color I see building incredible coaching businesses that scales to 6 and 7 figures, they aren't loved by everyone. Okay, they are trusted by the right people, by the right community. And those are two different goals, because you don't need everyone to agree with you. Okay, you need your community, your ideal client to think, finally someone is speaking up, someone is understanding me. Oh yeah, I didn't see it through that perspective, through that lens. That only happens when you are willing to discover and uncover your point of view. When you are willing to say, this is what I believe in, this is what I have seen, and this is what I want to challenge inside of you. And that is thought leadership. And that is how thought leadership is built. Not by avoiding disagreement, not by being everyone's favorite child, but by contributing something worth discussing. So I want you to remember the restaurant example that I gave you in the beginning, right? The five-star restaurant still has one-star reviews. The best-selling books receive terrible reviews on Google Reds. And the biggest movies has critics as well. I remember when I watched one of my partner's favorite movie, I didn't like it. And he was like, "What do you mean you don't like it?" I'm not. What was the movie? I'm not sure what the movie was, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like it." Okay, the biggest movies, the blockbusters, has critiques as well, and the most respected speakers have people who disagrees with them. Why? Because visibility is not about universal approve. Like it's not about approval. It is about meaningful impact. And if nobody disagrees with you, you probably aren't saying anything that challenges the way people think. And that means you haven't challenged the way you are thinking right now. And coaching and consulting is about changing how people are thinking, always seeding the next belief, always. And that means some resistance, some disagreement is part of the job. And if you're a coach, you're a consultant, this is your job. It's a part of your job. And you have to choose playing the job. Otherwise, you keep staying invisible, you keep playing small, even though you know you can actually have everything. But currently, you are choosing to play small because you don't want other people to disagree with you. And I want to challenge that belief because, again, resistance and disagreement is the part of being in business. You have to deal with that. You have to be okay with that. And this video is all about what happens once you become visible and being seen. Because a lot of people are telling you, become seen, be visible, right? Post content. But what happens after that? What happens when people are disagreeing with you? This happens, right? We have to deal with it. Inside Leverage 20, my clients are going viral, like millions of views. And the coaching inside Leverage 20 is about disagreement, is about resistance, and how to not make it as a fluke or luck, but how to use that and continue to refine your thinking, refine your voice to keep on attracting more people who agrees with you, but simultaneously who disagrees with you as well, because we cannot avoid that. That's not in our control. So the next time you hesitate before sharing your opinion, before sharing your belief, before sharing your thinking, okay? Don't let the voice inside of you ask you, what if someone disagrees with me? I shouldn't share it, okay? Ask yourself a better question. What if someone has been waiting to hear this new perspective? And that is the perspective for them to move forward, to change, to get the transformation. Because that's the other side of visibility. For every person who misunderstands you, there is someone who finally feels understood by you. For every person who scrolls past, there is someone who decides to book a call with you because of that new perspective. Have those people in your mind before you are sharing your voice and sharing your message. Don't measure your visibility by the people who reject your message. Measure it by the people whose life are being transformed because you shared that message. And again, the goal is not liked by everyone as a woman of color coach, okay? The goal is to become unforgettable to our community that you are here to serve. And that is the moment you will stop making other people's opinions mean something about your worth. Thank you so much for watching this video. Um, let me know what is the message you really want to share, but you are holding yourself back. Let me help you in the comments how you can overcome the resistance, the fear of being seen, so that you can hit the press button. Thank you so much, and I see you in the next video. Bye.